a little shame, but when it comes to Microsoft Surface products in general, especially for their flagship products, they always kind of arrive just a little too late. This is the Surface Laptop Studio, and it really is quite the unique take on what a hybrid style laptop can be. But with the market now saturated with Intel 12th Gen, this is still running on 11th Gen. So, is it still worth it? Well, let's talk about it. When we talk about the Microsoft Surface lineup, the two most prominent would usually be the Surface Pro and the Surface Laptop, and they are well loved by many, myself included. The Surface Laptop Studio is kind of like combining those two to make a single product that will appeal to both sides of the market. So you can lift up the lid and use it like a standard clamshell type laptop like that of the Surface Laptop, or you can tilt the display and prop it slightly forward or all the way down like you would with the kickstand on the Surface Pro. This is the very mechanism that makes this unique and is quite a bit different from everything else in the market out there. It's the way you interact with it that makes it really versatile. Combine it with the Surface Slim Pen 2 and it can really be your own portable design studio. When I dabble about in Lightroom or even Photoshop, everything just feels great to use and the whole design just makes it really intuitive. It's natural. Not to mention, there's a neat trick to charge the Surface Slim Pen 2 simply by sliding it under that front lip, and it will attach magnetically. And it really sticks like a glue. It's so strong to the point that it fills me with confidence even if I'm just holding the laptop and running about, with the pen attached below. Now for those of you who follow the channel, you will know that I personally own a Surface laptop, the first generation, and I love it to bits. The build quality, the experience, all of it. And that is true here as well. The build quality is amazing and immaculate. Every edge is refined. It's also going to stay clean looking thanks to the matte finish, and specifically for the Laptop Studio, it has quite a unique side profile due to the design. Now, it will be a little heavier compared to the other two options, weighing around 1.74 kg for the i5 model or about 1.82 kg for the i7 model, which isn't that surprising in the list thanks to the larger display and that hinge mechanism. That brings us to the display, and this is probably the highlight for me. It's a gorgeous 14.4-inch IPS panel with a resolution of 2400 by 1600, a refresh rate of up to 120Hz, covers 100% sRGB, can hit up to about 450 nits in max brightness, and has support for 10-point multi-touch. The display is fantastic. Videos on YouTube or Netflix are really enjoyable, and even the gaming experience was surprisingly great thanks to the 120Hz. But arguably, you will most likely be creating with this laptop more so than anything else. And in that regard, not only is it really color accurate, but the 3:2 aspect ratio helps with documents and photos immensely. You'll also appreciate the Windows Hello compatible webcam with pretty great image quality at 1080p with a decent set of microphones as well. It's gonna do you fine with talks over Discord or Zoom and as such, no issues at all. Now, for the keyboard and trackpad experience, I don't really need to say much. It's as great as ever. It is still one of, if not my favorite typing and trackpad experience on a Windows laptop by far. Though personally, I still prefer the Alcantara, but I guess it's not really feasible here due to the design. Even so, still really great. As for ports, it's really simple. You just have two Thunderbolt 4 ports, the Surface Connect and the 3.5mm combo jack. That's about it. You do get an additional USB port on the adapter itself, but it's solely for charging, nothing else. Though you can choose not to bring it along at times. Despite the mere 56 Wh battery, you can get 9 hours out of it, which is pretty amazing for sure. But here, it's where we trickle down into the not so great portion of this review, and it's about the performance. As mentioned earlier, the Laptop Studio runs on Intel 11th Gen and not the latest 12th Gen. It simply came to the market a little too late, and for us here in Singapore, even much later. So, we have the Core i7-11370H, a GeForce RTX 3050 Ti, 16GB of LPDDR4X RAM, and 512GB of PCIe 3.0 SSD storage. First up, we have Cinebench R23, and the results are as expected from the quad-core chip. Just about 5000 on the multi-core and about 1450 on the single core. Now of course, we have yet to try the P and U series of the 12th Gen thus far, but compared to the full-blown H series like that in the ROG Flow Z13, performance leaves much to be desired. As for DaVinci Resolve, this is also where the quad-core CPU starts to show where it's lacking. The 10-minute 1080p edit took about 12 minutes to render, while the 4K edit took roughly 25 minutes. Since this laptop does feature a RTX 3050 Ti with a 40W TGP, we tried some games as well. We tested at both 1080p and a native resolution of 2400 by 1600. At 1080p, performance was fantastic, with games like CSGO and Valorant easily pumping out more than 100 frames per second, making full use of the 120Hz display. Where it starts to fall short is if you game at a native resolution. While CSGO and Valorant are still plenty enjoyable, the same can't be said for Apex Legends, where the frame rate drops below 60, and even Genshin Impact. With all that said, not understandable given the resolution and the GPU. Thermals on the other hand are fantastic and well under control. With the CPU fully taxed in Cinebench, it could sustain just shy of 90 degrees Celsius without the fans on full blast. While in a gaming scenario, the CPU would generally hover around the mid-60s, while the GPU is even lower in the mid-50s, again with the fans at moderate speeds. All in all, performance is actually still pretty decent, and it's kind of expected given the hardware. But this is where we come into the question at hand. Is it really worth it? And it comes to price. For this specific configuration, it will set you back just about 3,000 Singapore dollars, or about 2,100 US dollars. And that's not including the Slim 10 2, which is a separate purchase. That's quite a lot of money for a system with a last gen quad-core CPU. Now you can save some by opting for the Core i5 with just integrated graphics instead, but we highly recommend not to do so. You will want the performance to complement the versatility of this design, especially when you're working with creative applications. So the Surface Laptop Studio is kind of in a rock and a hard place. Now the design is fantastic and we really do like it. And I would say that the whole idea behind it, Microsoft has done a really good job at that because it kind of opens up a new path for creators to interact with their projects using this device. But the performance is a little lacking, especially for the price. So you have to balance it out. Do you require the versatility that this provides, and are you willing to pay the price just for that? Or would you rather have more performance but something a little bit more traditional, a little more simple? That's up to you to decide. But if you're looking at a Surface Laptop or the Surface Pro and you're trying to get the best out of both worlds, this is it. Well, this is it for now. If you have any questions, let us know in the comment section down below. If you'd like to, do check out the affiliate links as well. If you do, thanks for the support. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Till the next one. See ya!